Alright guys, Wednesday, December 21st, 12:30 in the afternoon. We're back on the 59 TR3A and we're going to finish these, filling in these spot weld holes. So we're going to plug weld those shut and then we'll move on to another section, but that's the first task for the day. Okay guys, quick update. We repaired that bottom flange and plugged those spot welds. And we've also added a patch in here up where that valence wraps around. I still haven't added the valence piece, but we've got that bottom piece welded in there. So I think what I want to do now is I want to try to make this large floor patch. And I've just traced this pattern out, this template that we made. I've just traced this out on a piece of metal. So we're going to attempt to make this patch. We'll see how it goes. Might have to make it in two pieces, but it might be easier to make it in two pieces because I don't have a large break to break this edge. I am going to try to make this bottom flange here longer and put it on the inside of the trunk floor pan. So I'll explain that a bit more when I put the template back up on the car. But anyway, like I said, we may have to do this in two pieces, but we'll try to attempt to do it in one. Alright guys, just coming up to 3:30 and quick update for you. Here's what I've been doing. So I've pretty much got that patch looking not too bad, and it's fitting not too bad. Just need to do a little bit of trimming, and thought I gotta be moved out somewhat before it's welded in, but for the most part I can get it fitting pretty well. So just simple tools to make it. Just an old vise and a little anvil and a little hammer, ball peen hammer, and that's pretty much about it to make this panel. Let me just get it off of here for you so you can have a look at it. Probably going to fall off. So there it is. A few hammer marks in it, but not too bad. So yeah, there it is. So I think we'll just leave it out for now. I'll probably not fit that until I have the body sitting on the frame. I want to make sure that there's no angle on the floor pan. If you noticed, I put the flange on the inside here. This was originally one piece that actually wrapped around and continued on. So I had to cut it because basically I had no metal here. So I've cut it short. So what we'll do is we'll roll the flange inside, and then we'll just probably roll a bead of weld across this this edge here. So that's what the plan is. Anyway, we'll move on to something else. Alright guys, just coming up to 5:30 and just had a quick bite of dinner. So we're about to start a new little project on this car. So I think what we'll do is we'll maybe concentrate on trying to get the top of this wheel well to look a little bit better. These flanges up here have seen better days and need a lot of work. Every single cage nut is rusted and every fastener has been cut off. So what we'll have to do is when we repair these sections, we'll have to get back in behind there and weld another cage nut in there as well. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to work at this in small sections, and we'll probably work up to here, back to here. So the first thing I need to do is sort of pick this top metal off, and obviously we're going to need to replace that. And there's obviously metal in behind there that needs to be replaced as well. And we also have this lip of the wheel well to contend with, so we may have to drill some spot welds out to be able to lift the wheel well out enough to get the metal repaired in behind it. So it's a fairly complex repair in this section, so we'll just go at it slow and be methodical as usual. We definitely don't want to lose the fixing points for us to be able to put them back where they need to be. Otherwise the fender bolt holes won't line up well. So we got to make sure that we reference those and keep those at mind when we were doing this repair. Anyway, that's it for now guys. We'll start on that slowly. Guys, we've started to take apart this area, and I'm going to do something I didn't really want to have to do, but based on what I see here, I'm going to have to go ahead and cut this. So I'm going to cut this area out here all the way along and up to here, and we'll repair that section. It's pretty thin, and there's actually some stress fractures in here. I'm pretty sure you probably can't see that, but the metal is also quite thin, so I don't believe this is going to survive. So I think what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and cut it and replace it. And obviously that's going to need a small flange on it at some point as well. But before I get to that point, I need to repair the wheel tub arch. So that's again another reason why I'm going to take this out, so I can repair that wheel tub section. And then we'll also replace the cage nuts as well. I did take some measurements from the cage nuts for the first, second, and third cage nuts from the trunk channel, which is back here, right at this edge. So we've measured forward to these points where the cage nuts are, so we can replace them, hopefully in the right spot. There is a little bit of leeway. They don't have to be 100% perfect, but we'll try to get them back to where they came from. Anyway, that's it for now. That's just a quick update. We'll start cutting. Okay guys, quick shot of this piece of metal removed, and just pull it out of there. You see what we got left. Like I said, it's a bit of a tricky area because you've got a bit of a angle to contend with on this inner wheel well lip. It's sort of, you know, on about a, I don't know, 30-degree angle or so. So you got to sort of maintain that all the way around. So I've got to basically build this piece back up. I don't even really know what it looks like, but I'm assuming that it goes up into this sort of thickness in here. Anyway, we'll do the best we can, and I think it's going to require me to probably fit the rear fender once or twice before I weld everything up solid. So anyway, a little bit of a tricky area, but no sense crying about it. We'll get to work. So I'll try to explain to you what I'm doing. So we've cut this piece out from here, okay? And I'm trying to do it in small sections so I can keep my reference points. So that basically goes back in there, okay? It's like so. What I want to do is I want to try to make sure I retain the place of the cage nut. So what I've done is I've just sort of inverted it, and I've taken a hammer and I've just punched it so you can see where the dimple is. So I'm going to drill a hole there, and I'm going to attach a cage nut before I weld this plate back in. So that's basically what I'm doing. So there's my reference for my hole. I'm going to go inside and grab the cage nuts off the dining room table so I can weld them on here and then replace that whole little tab. That's the process. So here's where we're at. We've got the little patch panel with the cage nut now welded on, and we've just got it coated with the backside with some zinc primer. And while I was at it, I took the sandblaster and we sandblasted inside the cavity of this opening, which is not going to be accessible once I fix this area up. So we did a quick sandblast on the top and bottom, and we also give that a quick coat of zinc primer as well. So we're just going to wait for that to dry, and then we're going to weld that one section in there, and then we're going to move on to the next section. As you can see, it's sort of growing a little bit. I found more damage down here, right there. So we've got a hole there to contend with now. I've also got a hole there to contend with now. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll get her done. It's just going to take a while. Thing while I'm waiting for the paint to dry. You may have noticed this in the background. This is a shrinker stretcher that my buddy Sean has graciously lent me. I've never used one before, so that'll be interesting. But I figured doing some research and reading and video watching that I might be able to use a shrinker stretcher on this area here. You can see that flange is pretty well rusted out. So I'm going to need to be able to create a curve in this panel, a slight curve. So I'm thinking of you know, taking a section of this out, flanging it, and then throwing it in the shrinker to draw that corner. So wish me luck. That'll be interesting to give that a shot. It's, like I said, it'll be the first time I use it, so I'm sure there'll be some trial and error, but I'm looking forward to it. Okay guys, the first patch is in, obviously not ground down. I haven't welded it on this side because obviously I need to fix to the right of this patch. So haven't bothered welding that. I just sort of tacked it there to get the angle. Now I'm running into no man's land really, because I don't know what's supposed to be over in this area here. Obviously I know it's missing a flange piece, but I don't know if this flange actually goes higher or whether this is the end of this flange piece here and then it just drops down. So I guess I'm just going to have to guess at it. Anyway, so we'll figure out what we want to do in this area, and then we're going to probably come back in this area somewhere and make a patch to come forward. And I think that this piece here ends up in here somewhere, tucked in behind. So yeah, not much to go on. Okay guys, quick update. We've got 2 sections of the inner fender repaired, at least as far as I think it's supposed to be. So what I've been doing is I've been using this cutoff piece, this sort of capping piece, to figure out where the curve needs to go by sort of reattaching the piece and looking where the flange is supposed to go. So I'm trying to use that as a bit of a guide, so I'm being careful not to bend that or misshape it. So anyway, that's what it looks like. So we're probably going to call it a night where we're at, and then we'll sort of come back and we'll try to tackle this ugly part here in the back. And like I said, I'm not sure how far I need to go back. There is some structure in here to contend with. There's this, there's a big rib in here that I know I can't cut through, so I'm going to have to be careful of that. I think I might be able to come down around this area, just where the sort of break is in the material, and then sort of come up here and make a piece that comes up in behind this piece over to here. So I think that's what the plan is. So we'll think about that tonight, and we'll get out here tomorrow, and we'll continue to play. Alright guys, that's it for tonight. See you tomorrow. Oh, and Karen. I keep forgetting Karen.